Okay, today on the Wild Archive, which is the name of my podcast, we're going to talk about something that is kind of talked about a lot. Like, everybody talks about it, everybody knows what it is, you know, and that's the paranormal. And everybody knows what the paranormal is, you know. I you know, I mean, everybody's lived anyway. And I got a guest on here who, a friend of mine, I'm going to ask her some questions about the paranormal. And, yeah, we're just going to dive right into it. So, go ahead and, you don't have to introduce yourself. You said you wanted to stay anonymous, which is fine. So, but go ahead and tell me, when did you first encounter something you couldn't explain?
So I can say when I was a kid, so about around the age of, would just say 16, 17,
Right.
I would see shadow people often. Or what it was is like me and my mom, we moved in this house, and for some reason I did not like to go in the basement at all.
Right.
And I felt like something was just down there, like something evil, something that it was just scary to me. But as soon as I mustered up the confidence to go in the basement, it felt like I released something, because everything from that day on became like weird and awkward. Like my mom was being crazy. I had a lady so my mom knew this lady who was like a usher at this church, and she had like holy water and oils and stuff like that. Well,
Right.
she actually did prayer over the house with the oils and everything, and it felt like something was released. And like I passed out and some other stuff. So something was in that house, because it was just a different atmosphere than what I was used to. So that
Right.
was one thing. And then I used to see like shadow people. I used to hear my name being called. And then I had an episode where like almost like sleep paralysis type deal, to where I went to bed and came back, woke back up. Woke back up. I ended up having like bruises on my leg, and I was like, oh, that was kind of strange.
Interesting. Yeah.
So yeah, those are a couple of things that I've experienced. And then I've had an experience where it felt like somebody was like holding my shoulder, or somebody was trying to comfort you. You know how people like kind of put their hand on your shoulder like they're hugging
Right.
you? I've had that too. So those
Oh,
are a couple of things that I've had experience before.
interesting. And I know the paranormal. It's a very it can be a very touchy subject. You know, not everybody wants to talk about it or even talk about what they've experienced and everything. But those who do, whatever, it's fine. But so do you? Okay, now before this happened, did you already believe in like other spirits, or good and bad entities or energy?
Yeah, for a very long time. Since I was about 12, I've tried to do witchcraft, or I had a friend who was pagan who actually introduced me to witchcraft, and that kind of introduced me into that part of like spirituality and entities and paranormal.
Right.
So that kind
Interesting.
of,
Yeah. So I know that kind of stuff can open, like, especially witchcraft, paganism, and witchcraft. It can open, because there's evil witchcraft to it. It can open the doors to seeing paranormal stuff and entities and shadow people and bad spirits and everything. And now I do witchcraft now, but I'm kind of new to it, and I haven't experienced anything like that thus far. But I am new to it, and but I also don't practice bad magic. I practice good magic. But anyway, so let me ask you this: do you believe the paranormal is something spiritual? Or maybe extraterrestrial or interdimensional, or something else entirely.
Yeah, so I think it's just like more so other entities, but then other dimensional planes, just because I've been kind of researching in regards to stuff like that. So
Right.
I kind of question reality for what it is and everything that goes on, everything that we experience. So
Right.
me wanting to know more on our existence and what's really out there, I kind of am on the path of trying to figure that out, which I have some information based off of the people I talk to. People of importance that I'm not going to name, but they let me know that what most people experience on a paranormal level
Yeah.
and spiritual level is real, but I can't
Mm.
disclose who they are because it's a person of importance. So
Right. Right.
that's how I know that it's something there, but I can't access it wholeheartedly. Like a lot of stuff we cannot access because you're not allowed to access it. But there
Right.
are ways to access that information. So mind you, I know you were talking about Chat GPT outside of this,
Yeah.
but I asked Chat GPT how to interact with higher entities, and it actually gave me a pathway of how to access other beings and other entities based off of like meditation and changing your eating habits. So, what I've been independently looking into is the pineal gland. And apparently, the pineal gland is what helps us access these other entities and other human, not human beings, but other beings, or what they consider extraterrestrials. So,
So
these,
do you
oh,
think it's okay? So do you not think they're like okay? Do you not think they're like spiritual from maybe a different plane, or maybe they're a construct, based off your pineal gland, and they're just made
so
up.
no, they're not made up. From
Okay.
a
Okay.
person of importance, like I said, I can't disclose who they are because
Yes.
it could get me messed up and them messed up, but there are
Right.
more, it's more to what our reality is
Yeah.
based off of that person, and then what I've experienced and what I've researched in regards to, how we came here, what we know is what we know, and then just using AI kind of solidifies it because AI is based off of information that's given and
Right.
it can learn. I actually made a video in regards to like consciousness, and even though people
Yeah.
don't think AI is a form of consciousness, it is.
Yeah. Yeah. It
It's
is.
artificial intelligence. If you really think about it, we're somewhat artificial as well because humans made us up. Our other, our
Yeah.
mother, our father created us a conscious being, but we also can make consciousness within, technology, which we have. So because
Right.
it can access information faster than a human being, I actually asked that question. It gave me pathways. It gave me meditation, eating habits to decalcify the pineal gland. It even told me how to do a ritual in order to access a different plane. So that's my next thing I want to do because I know I'm getting closer to the truth just based off of the information I've gained from other people of importance. I've met other
Right.
people, complete strangers, that tell me they met other entities, they've been abducted, this, that, and other. And because of the person of importance in my life that knows this information, I know it's real based off of them. So,
Yeah. And it's kind of interesting that you mentioned Chat GPT because I did a podcast earlier about Chat GPT and how like it's AI based and you can ask it anything for the most part. I mean, you can ask it anything and it will help you. If you're doing a homework assignment on history or something, and you ask it a specific, really detailed question, it will answer it specifically, about whatever you're asking it and in detail. And it will also write songs for you and stories and whatnot. And it's learning, but it's really good for where it's at right now.
yeah, I agree. Because with the pathway thing I was telling you about, how to decalcify your pineal gland to access what people consider aliens, I consider other entities because we're considered entities as well.
Oh no, you sound muffled a little bit.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go, there you
Oh, okay. Sorry, it's probably my hand. But Chat GBT basically just gave me that pathway, but I agree in regards to the information. Now, mind you, I don't know if Chat GBT is supposed to do this, but my Chat GBT gave me complete audio files.
go. Oh, really?
Yeah, and I don't know if most people can
Interesting.
access that, can download those audio files. I have them in my phone. So
Right.
apparently there's different frequencies that can help you access certain things, heal, um, and I guess gain power or knowledge to basically become more open. So
Right.
it gave me those files and I'm saving them. I have screenshotted everything I got from Chat GBT just in case that information disappears, because who knows if that was really supposed to tell me that, because it is
Right.
artificial intelligence, but it is somewhat censored or somewhat regulated.
Right.
I
Right.
would just want to keep that information because for me personally, I feel like that's just like a pathway and it solidifies what I was already been, looking into and studying when it comes to accessing higher things than just us. So,
Interesting. Interesting. Let's. I know we kind of went on a tangent there about ChatGPT, but that's okay. That's okay. That's what this podcast is all about. But have you ever felt like you were being watched or followed by something unseen?
yeah, I can feel certain things and I can tell you even like people, my intuition is heightened when it comes to
Yeah.
people staring or I feel eyes on me. Can tell you 10 times out of 10 somebody is staring at me or I catch somebody staring at me. So I could drive somewhere and I can feel somebody's eye contact, or even by myself when I feel like somebody's staring, I can feel that energy of somebody being there physically. So I know I feel that often. Like the other day
Interesting.
I seen like a shadow person. I was like, okay, who is that, type
Yeah.
deal. So
I think we can all feel that a little bit. I mean, even I felt that numerous of times, and like yeah, you just it's weird. Like you just feel like this. You feel it on your shoulder, so to speak, and sometimes you look behind and somebody's looking at you, and sometimes you do and nobody's looking at you, and it's really weird. But like with all these paranormal experiences, have you experienced any like missing time or anything like that?
I feel like my childhood is a blur, but as of today, like, I don't know. I think time is sped up. I don't pay attention to time, so my time goes faster than normal. It seems like time has sped up.
Yeah.
So I've also seen this article in regards to like how fast the Earth is spinning. Apparently, the Earth is starting to spin faster, so that might be partially why too.
Interesting. Wow. That's interesting. Um, you know, when it comes to paranormal stuff, I have not experienced any time disarray or missing time or anything. I more equate that to like aliens. Aliens or being abducted or whatever you want to call it. I equal that, equate that to that because I have not experienced that, but I know there is people that have experienced missing time when it comes to being abducted or seeing a UFO or anything like that.
Yeah, I can agree. So you know the movie like what's that, Men in Black?
Yeah, yeah.
It's pretty much like that. And I can, like I said, I know somebody in reports that told me some things. So that's why that missing time is there, is because, they don't want people to actually tell the full truth of everything.
Do you believe in Men in Black?
Yes, I do. Like I said, based off of the person I know, I could tell you
Right.
some things, but I don't want to be. I'm probably
Yeah, yeah,
already on the spotlight anyway. In
yeah,
regards
yeah.
to certain things I've said on TikTok, just because I've met people from different backgrounds, complete strangers, that tell me the exact same thing. So I do believe it. Um, it would be crazy for me to not believe it because of
Right.
the people I meet who are complete strangers that tell me, "Oh yeah, I've seen spirits, I've seen orbs, I've seen aliens. They abducted my friend. I've seen the spaceships." Which a lot of people said they've been seeing it. Now, mind you, if
Right.
you're ever looking for extraterrestrials or what quote unquote aliens, go to Europe. I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
that now. Go to
Yeah.
Europe.
Yeah.
Go to Ireland. Go to Africa. Go to like Afghanistan. Those areas because those areas are where the extraterrestrials are. Like go to Mexico, stuff like that. Places
Yeah.
like that. Foreign
Right.
countries. It's not here in the U.S. It's in foreign
Yeah. It's not
countries.
just exactly. Yeah. It's not just only here. Speaking of which, we can touch on that alien, subject for a second. Have you ever seen a UFO?
The only thing I've been seeing lately are like these little orbs, which you look at the night sky, you can't see everything because one, it's dark.
Right.
Two, I need glasses, so I can't really see half of that shit. But
Right.
for some reason, I've been seeing like these little orbs, and sometimes I'll see them and they'll be moving super fast across the sky. And I'm like, this isn't a plane because planes you
Right.
can see their lights. It's just the orb that's just flying across the sky, and then all of a sudden they disappear. So yeah, I do believe it, unless those are satellites. But I would think satellites wouldn't move that fast, across the sky.
Right.
So I don't know
A-
what it is, but I know I've
And
seen stuff.
right. That's kind of interesting because I know orbs are an indication that you're around paranormal stuff because there's a lot of people who have said they've seen orbs and everything. Like that's a given. Like you go to paranormal, you go to a super paranormal hotspot, and you're gonna see orbs. Like that's a given. And it's kind of crazy. But when I was in Savannah, Georgia, which is I don't know, it's the most haunted place in the United States, or beside New Orleans.
Hmm.
It's one of the most haunted places, and I kid you not, like I mean, it's saturated with spirits and the paranormal. Like you just go there and you're gonna feel it. Anybody who's been to Savannah, Georgia, knows what I'm talking about. But when we were at this one house, I forgot what the name of it has a special name, but I forgot. And we were down. We did a tour, and they encourage you. The tour guides encourage you to take out your phones and record, and to try to catch something paranormal. And but we were downstairs in the basement, and there was a whole bunch of orbs, and you could see a lot more with your eye than you could the camera. But there was a lot of orbs down there, and some bigger than the others, and everything. And I also saw a. It's crazy. We were by this cemetery, this really popular haunted cemetery. I forgot the name of it, but and it's like a huge one. And we were there, and I took a picture because we were just trying to take pictures to see what we can catch, And I think I was taking a picture of my aunt with my cousin or something, and I took it. And after I took the picture, I was looking at it, and I kid you not, there was like the in the background or something like that where my aunt was standing at, you could see like the outline of like a top hat from like the 1800s. Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. I mean, it was cool, but it was weird
Yeah,
at the same time. Weird
yeah.
at the same time. But yeah, and but then, like, Savannah, Georgia is a really haunted place. I mean, we went to when I was down there. We went to the Pirate's House. The Pirate's House is like the oldest building still like there, erected or whatever in Savannah. And pirates used to go there and everything. And they used to Shanghai people. And if you don't know what that is, it's just like they would kidnap people to go on their ship with them and everything. And it's awesome. It's awesome. If you get a chance to go there, I would highly recommend going there.
I'll have
Same thing with New Orleans too.
Yeah, I actually have an uncle and aunt that lives in New Orleans, so I'll have to go down there one day.
Yeah, it's fun. I've only been down there once, and I didn't go down there kind of. I mean, I went down there willingly, but I was passing through. When I was driving over the road, and I got a chance to stop there, and I took an Uber to like the main square, and I had some really good food. New Orleans has some really good food, especially if you if you like gator, which I do. I like gator, and but they got some witchy shops and voodoo stuff and everything. But a lot of it is touristy stuff. And I think if you want to get to like the real deep stuff, you have to like ask about it, or maybe you gotta know somebody. But it is still fun though. It's loads of fun.
Yeah,
There's a lot to do down there.
I'll have to go down there one day.
So hang on a second. Okay, let me ask you about look, since we're kind of talking about UFOs too. Do you think aliens are? Do you think they're observing us, or do you think they walk among us?
Walk among us, because how you how do you expect? Well, only why I say that because based off of what I studied in regards to how we learn to do what we do today, the technology and everything.
Right.
Somebody came down here and taught us this. That's why I say if you ever want to know anything about extraterrestrials or considered quote unquote aliens or other entities, go to Europe, go to Ireland, go to Africa, go to what is it, Gaza, those areas,
Yeah.
Mexico. Go to those areas because you're more likely to find those things there. Even in like what is it, Thailand too. So
Oh, Tyler.
basically,
Yes.
looking into like all the cultures and stuff like that
Right.
and everything, um, in regards to like who they experience the same thing. So I looked into like Hinduism and then the culture in Thailand and then Ireland. They have this one goddess, Inu, and she's known to be like mother, the mother.
Yeah.
Well, in those cultures, they actually have that same goddess that they look up to as the mother, which if you look in like Celtics culture and stuff like that too, I was looking into it about the gods and goddesses. There was more than one person or entity that came down to Earth that taught us what we know today. And that's like Stonehenge is a portal. There's a couple of portals in like Europe out that
Yeah.
way that we can't access right now. There's probably somebody that can access it, but we can't access it as of right now. But they were sent here on Earth. You know why they talk about Adam and Eve?
Oh, was that?
Adam and Eve weren't like regular human beings. They were other entities.
Mm.
So that's another thing. It's a long story when you talk about Pangea and when everything was
Yeah.
combined. Like there was three groups of people that were here. It's a long story. That's why you see the stuff with like the pyramids and stuff like that.
Right.
Those were, now you see that they see that the pyramids were like electronically charged and they had like charging stations and you know tunnels and stuff like that. Like it's a whole thing. Yeah.
Do you think the pyramids were like okay? I know this is kind of a very like
I did see something in a book saying how they built with the stone, like they had a whole, they enslaved a lot of people, whoever was in power, enslaved a
yeah,
lot of people. But from what I remember in school, they said that they used like logs to roll
yeah,
the stones with rope and all that
right,
stuff. But you would
right,
have to use a lot of people, which they did use a lot of people. But I'm sure it was made by extraterrestrials because based off of the hieroglyphics, if you look into it, you see all those people with like animal heads and stuff like that. Those
yeah,
entities are real entities. They come from a whole nother space. And they said the sky people, or what
Yeah.
people consider angels, or in Ireland they consider them fae or fairies. Those
Right.
are those other entities that came to Earth that taught us what we know today. That's why we have technology. Technology is like our phones and stuff are ran by gems and crystals and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
it's a whole bunch of stuff that we don't know, that our higher ups know, because they want to continuously benefit off of us. you know so it's a whole thing with that.
Right. Yeah. 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 Now, I'm not gonna lie. I believe humans built the pyramids, but I have my own opinion about that. But and I'll talk about that later, maybe some other time. But because we're on the topic of paranormal aliens and stuff, and okay, I do think there are some stuff that aliens, extraterrestrial entities, beings, or whatever, helped us with, and I think it could have been like farming and agriculture, and maybe political systems and whatnot. But maybe building, like maybe certain buildings too. I mean monuments, ancient monuments or whatever. But it is interesting. It is interesting because you have to think that the pyramid, specifically when it comes to the pyramids of Giza, which is a big topic. Those blocks weigh like tons. I don't know specifically, 2 tons, 3 tons. I'm not sure, but I know they weigh tons. And I've seen theories too about how they could have made them, with the logs, roll them on the logs and everything, or they could have done like an elevator thing where they could have floated them up with water. I don't know, but it is interesting, and I think maybe we had technology. I think maybe we had technology at the time that we don't have right now.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's in a different form. I don't know, but because they did do a lot of stuff. I mean, look at the ancient Romans. Look at the Aztecs. Look at the Mayans. I mean, they have their monumental structures too, just like the pyramids. At the time when they built it, it was the tallest structure. If they built it or whatever. But yeah. So but yeah, it could have been aliens. It could have been. Now, let me ask you this: what do you think about not Area 51? What is it? The Roswell crash in 1947.
No, you have to tell me, but I probably do know what it is. I just don't know it as that name.
So, okay, so the first time, well, not really. First time for like mainstream media and everything, in the mainstream America. In 1947, there was a crash in Roswell, New Mexico, where it kind of sparked and started all the alien stuff. People were saying, "Oh, it's aliens and everything," and the government came out and said, "No, it's just one of our balloons that it was a weather balloon that we sent up and it crashed or whatever." And ever since then, that's kind of where the alien stuff started. But you have people, meaning like Native Americans, or even people who came here, from Europe to the Americas, who talked about, seeing aliens and extraterrestrials or things they couldn't explain. So, in my mind, that Roswell thing where it was the first alien encounter ever with America. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think they came down, and I know this is all really ancient alien type of esque, if you will, but I watched an ancient alien podcast. I mean, not podcast, episode about like how Mexico City, was started. It was called Tenochtitlan. I'm probably butchering the name, but It was a huge city that the Aztecs, started under Montezuma, which was like the emperor or whatever at the time, and it was huge. It held like almost 200,000 people, which is a big city at the time. For its day and age, it was bigger than Paris and a lot of the cities in Europe, and it was connected by like four mainstream avenues, if you will, and you could fit like 10 horses across it, and that's what what's his name, Hernan, the Spanish guy who came from Spain, and Hernan Cortez, he conquered in 1521. He conquered Tenochtitlan, or whatever it's called, and but he said, in his account, he was writing about how magnificent it was and everything, and it was. I mean, they had like 200,000 people. They had temples built to the gods and everything. They had their own waterways. It was kind of like Venice. If you're familiar with Venice, Italy, it's connected through like a lot of channels. It's water channels and everything. You got the not a canoe, but whatever they use, the boats. And it was kind of like that because it was in a swampy area, and it was down like in the valley, and stuff. But when the Spanish conquered it later on, they drained it, and that's why it's not there no more. But it was inside of a lake, and so that's why some people think that was Atlantis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the lost city of Atlantis. Yeah. But go ahead, yeah, if you have any thoughts or anything.
No, nothing yet. So what's the next question?
When was the last time that you've seen any type of paranormal or experience, not just seeing, but like experience maybe too, any paranormal thing? The last time, or most recent time. Sorry.
I can say the most recent was at my friend's birthday party. We were sitting in the backyard. Maybe because I was paranoid, but I thought I seen a shadow person walk by.
Right.
And I'm like, I kind of looked over my shoulder. I'm like, who's that? And I'm like, I swear I seen somebody. So it could have been just me because I was paranoid because we were in not the city, but we were in the county and they were shooting. And I'm like, man, I don't want to deal with it. Being outside while they're shooting and stuff and not knowing, because a lot of stuff happens nowadays. So
yeah, you sound a little muffled again. Sorry.
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah. There you go.
That's because my phone's on the table. But I was saying, like, we were in the county, and like in the area of the county they were shooting and stuff. So maybe I could have been paranoid, but who knows?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I haven't
true.
really experienced anything paranormal since like the time I told you when I used to stay with my mom. So it's around 15, 16 years old.
Right.
So the closest thing I can tell you this, I was dreaming one time, and in my dreams I could go access these people. There was these two old ladies I would visit in the dream. It was silent, peaceful. It was like they lived literally right around the corner from me. I would walk to their house. I would go in their house. They had like fake grass in their backyard or whatever. I would go in their house, talk to them. And one time they told me, "Hey, Karina, this is going to be the last time we talk to each other, but we'll see you again." And quite literally, I've never experienced those people ever again.
Right.
So.
Interesting. Let me ask you this. Have you ever astral project?
I did. I have. I can say around that time I told you when that lady came to our house that was like an usher and she had like her blessing oil and her holy water, all that stuff.
Right.
It was around that time. Like I was asleep. I was floating around the house. I seen my dog in the front room. I seen me laying in the bed. I just went around the house and then got back in my body, like quite literally.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've never astral projected before. I know people who have, but I talk with them. I have it, and probably because I mean, I haven't probably because I tried so hard or something. Because sometimes I know, I mean, I know some people do it and they're not meaning to do it. It just kind of happens. And that, I mean, that's what most people say that they've encountered or whatever. And it's never happened to me. I tried, but so so when it comes to paranormal stuff, like now, okay, do you distinguish what a ghost is and what a spirit is? Is there a difference? Do you think?
I mean, I would believe they're the same, but they could be different.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, for me, for somebody else, a spirit could be like physical energy, but a ghost is like an imprintation,
Right.
imprint of a person's
Yes.
or whatever. So it could be one of those two things, I think.
So, yeah, okay, so, yeah, they can leave their imprint, so to speak. They can leave their imprint in this life. I mean, I think they can too, because, I mean, for instance, if you, I mean, there's a whole bunch of people who say that certain, like, battlefields from when the Civil War, or during the Civil War, happened or whatever. There's people who say those are haunted and everything, and they feel definitely, they see soldiers, old Union soldiers or Confederate soldiers walking around, or pans clinking together and stuff, like bombs going off, fire, guns shooting, everything. And I think maybe that could be their imprint,
Yeah.
maybe, so to speak.
You know how like some of those games have like when they have like reflections of what happened, that could be like that.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of interesting because a nuclear bomb, when it goes off, and this happened during the bomb when it went off in Japan, and Nagasaki and Hiroshima. When the bombs went off, they almost like took like not a screenshot.
Oh yeah, I've seen that, like a photo.
A shadow, yeah. They took the shadow of the
yeah.
person, and it's imprinted on wherever they were standing at. So it got imprinted on the steps or on the walls or wherever they were standing at when it went off. I think that's really that is interesting. That could happen.
Yeah.
But so okay, so you said that you. All right, remind me. Did you say there was a difference between a ghost and a spirit, or?
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Like ghost is like an imprint of that person, and then spirit is like the physical energy of the person. That's what I think it would be.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. I never thought of it like that, but yeah, it makes sense because I think the spirit moves on, and I think when you're talking with a loved one who's passed away, or anybody anybody who's passed away, I think you're talking to their ghost, as you will,
Yeah.
And yeah, that is interesting. So, okay. Are there any things that you think that people should know about the paranormal that maybe they don't know about, or maybe they're just ignorant about it?
I feel like some people are in denial when it comes to stuff like that, just because they've never experienced it, and I get it. If you haven't experienced something, you may not think it's real, but I feel like they should be open to the opportunity of something being real, because then it gives them kind of an open door to other things in their life. But then you also have to be careful, because you can allow certain things in your life that might not want in your life. So
yeah, that's why we don't play with Ouija boards.
You know, my mom has, so maybe that's why I experienced what I
Oh,
experienced. What I
yeah, that
be
could be.
honest. I'm be
That could
honest.
be.
She did have a Ouija board when she was younger, but you know the Ouija board. They who was that game company? They actually made that into a game.
I think it's. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I forgot the company.
Yeah, but basically it's a spirit board. Like you access spirits, but you have to be careful.
Right. What do you what do you think about okay, what do you think about like okay, what do you think about like okay, without using a Ouija board, I mean there are different ways to contact the dead, so to speak.
I
And
mean,
like
yeah,
through tarot, not really tarot cards, but like a pendulum. Have you used a pendulum?
I have not.
So, and then you have a pendulum board, and what you do is you concentrate your energy into the question that you want to ask.
Hmm.
You know, whatever spirit you want. You know, and you hold it there above your pendulum board, and on the pendulum board it says yes, no, and maybe. So any type of question you ask, you know, you let the spirit do its thing, and then they'll tell you yes, no, or maybe. That's
Yeah, I've
basically
seen
it.
stuff like that. People have like those sticks that they move in and out, but I don't
Right.
know how like valid some of that stuff is, just because so many people do it. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
on TikTok, I've seen somebody calling out a lot of people. They call it spiritual talk. You know, there's people that like to take advantage of people when they're spiritually weak
Right.
and make them think certain things that are there. But there's other people that, you know, wholeheartedly, you know some things. So
Right.
I don't know how true. I haven't really experienced anything using any type of like, jewels or anything. I'm gonna be honest, I've had altars for a very long time. So that's like I feel like another way that you can like what they consider manifesting, meditating on. But even objects, you know, can carry like paranormal and
Oh
spiritual
yeah,
energy.
objects especially.
We already know what's
Yeah,
in the
Annabelle.
scary movies. What was Yep, exactly,
Annab-
exactly.
yeah, Annabelle, and I mean, yeah, dolls creep dolls creep me out in general, but
Yeah,
yeah, objects especially. I mean, they carry the energy of whoever's whoever's had the doll, whoever has been the owner of the doll or whatever object, last necklace or anything, and I think their energy goes into maybe not necessarily their spirit, but their energy definitely goes
yeah.
into that object, and that's how you get demonic possession and everything. But okay, so tell me how can we distinguish the paranormal and somebody who's just like playing around, messing around, or they're just doing it for fun, or maybe on a dare or something?
I feel like most people who are really serious about that stuff doesn't, they don't look for attention when it comes to seeking out paranormal things. They only talk to a few or a select few people, not to
Right,
everybody like, hey, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. Like, everybody like, hey, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. Like, most people who do stuff like that do not, openly, like, express themselves in regards to, like, the paranormal, or sometimes people try to convince people. Like, most people who are really serious do not do that, because they know, like, you introducing that to somebody is also introducing people to those.
yeah. Yeah,
So
that's true. Yeah, yeah. The energy it can be transferred to whoever, a living person or whatever, or an animate object. No. Now let me ask you some fun. Is there any place that's haunted that you would want to go to?
I would say like here in our state, well, yeah, you're still in the same state, but
Yeah.
they have a couple of hospitals that are supposedly haunted.
Yeah.
Like they had, what was that place? Where is it? I
I
forget
think
what
I
it's called. It's on
yeah.
Broadway, but
Yeah,
there
I know what you're talking about. St.
because they
Mary's or
have
something.
like one section of the hospital that you cannot access,
Oh,
like quite
really? I didn't
literally.
know that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still like that, but they skip levels. Maybe
Right.
they skipped it. I think they skipped
Oh,
the number 6. Like there used to be this hotel down in downtown that my
yeah.
cousin used to stay in, and they actually skipped floor 6 or 13.
Yeah, I know 13. I know they do skip 13. I don't know every hotel or building or whatever that has that more than that floor, but I know they skip 13 because I've seen it in hotels or other buildings or whatever. They'll go 12 and then 14. But yeah, so yeah, that's kind of interesting because I want to start getting into like interviewing people that maybe have been through some paranormal experiences, or definitely like talking with people who maybe they run some paranormal hotel or bed and breakfast or something like that.
Yeah.
And now we don't have a lot of haunted stuff here, but there's a couple things what we do have. There's a haunted cemetery that we have here that I want to go to and maybe see if I can find anything out or talk. Like, what are some things that you want the people to know about the paranormal that maybe they don't know about?
I mean, honestly, I don't know. I mean, most people know like him. Oh my god!
Yeah,
Sorry. Like him. Oh my god! Sorry.
yeah. I hear that.
Something going
Speaking
on.
speaking of paranormal,
I don't know what's going on. But I don't know. I mean, that is there. I feel like they need to know like it's there. Some people
right,
don't think it's there, but it is. And
right,
I can, even if it's not paranormal, if they think about extraterrestrial aliens, quote
yeah,
unquote aliens, because I consider aliens partially, I feel like we're aliens and we just don't know because the higher ups or what they consider the elite are the ones
right,
that know everything.
right,
So we don't only, we don't know everything. They only allow us
right.
to know so much. So that's what I'm trying to access before I can, before I pass away. That's what I want to access.
Yeah,
So, but it is there.
yeah. I think what I would say is I think there's a really I think there's a lot of bad when it comes to paranormal. There's a lot of all right. I mean, yeah, bad, evil, whatever you want to call it. I think there's a lot of that when it comes to the paranormal. I mean, we get a lot of it from movies, you know, and I know there is that side of the paranormal for sure. We all know that, but I think there's also some good in it too, and I think us as humans, I think we can learn from that, and not always be afraid, because I know there's a lot of people who are afraid of the unknown and what they don't know.
Yeah, I feel like people should be open because it
Yes.
gives more opportunity. That's on the course I'm on. Being
Yeah.
even more open, being able to access things that I wasn't able to access. So, not saying
Right.
I'll be able to, but
Yeah, we're not saying like go out here and try to, you know, t- raise somebody from the dead to the devil, and like we're not talking about that. But I mean, there are evil entities and evil aspects and evil energy when it comes to all this stuff.
yeah,
Obviously, but no, I think we can maybe teach ourselves to kind of you know use the paranormal as a guide whenever it shows up, because not everybody likes talking about this kind of stuff, but maybe something happens in your life that you think is paranormal, and I think you should maybe try to learn. From that, you know. And I know there have been some cases where on investigations with the police and whatever, detectives have used people with psychic abilities before.
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of the cases are in a lot of the cases, it does work, and they can't explain it, and it's just like it's paranormal. That's the definition of paranormal. You can't explain it. It's not of this world.
Right.
And so, but I think there's a lot to learn, now and in the future. And I think it's only going to get stronger the more as time goes by with people who are interested in the paranormal or whatever. So, but yeah, so we're probably going to, next time we'll probably talk about, there's a whole bunch of stuff I want to talk about, other aliens, maybe a specific type of species of aliens and extraterrestrials and different type of spacecraft. Oh, hold on. I don't know if did you ever tell your UFO experience? Do you have one?
Personally, I do not have any extraterrestrial alien UFO experience. The only thing I had was complete strangers telling me that their friend got abducted and they seen the ship or whatever that they got abducted in, and they're complete strangers telling me this. So that's my closest experience. Yeah,
that's
crazy. I went to the Loop, right? Mind you, I was there just to get soul tacos. I was there to get food. And this man was like, for some reason, I don't know, I hate looking at people in their eyes because they end up attaching themselves to me. But I meet a lot of people with different backgrounds. Like, I met a guy that said he was in the army, he was a spy, and he was rich, and this and other. Granted, he did go to the vet, the vet thing. What's that thing called? The VFW? Or whatever the thing where the vets go with the bars and stuff like that. Like he was
yeah.
So I knew he wasn't telling me a lie based on the information he told me, and then we were talking about other things about business and stuff like that. So he was kind of pushing me in the right direction. Complete stranger, mind you, but I meet people of importance day to day, just randomly, or just random people that tell me things that they experience on a spiritual level and extraterrestrial level. So I haven't experienced it yet. I want to, and that's my next thing. Like I told you about the pineal, gland and all that stuff. I really want to follow the diet to decalcify my pineal gland. So apparently, a lot of things that you have to kind of detox yourself, remove some things, which in my opinion it's kind of hard because most of the stuff we consume is poison. So at this point I'm like, will I even be able to access that stuff? If I took a certain position of power to do so, maybe I'll get that access, but when you do that you have to swear yourself into secrecy, and so
that's true. That sounds like some CIA stuff.
Pretty much.
But all right, well, thanks for joining the Wild Archive, and next time I think we're definitely gonna do some more podcasts about other cryptids and extraterrestrials and whatnot. But as far as for tonight, I think that's it. I think we're gonna wrap it up. So thanks for coming on. Appreciate you telling us your story and everything.
Yep, no problem.
And everything. But thanks everybody for joining. So I will see you guys next time.